Alright, so here we have a cracked screen all the way from the digitizer, which is the glass portion, through to the LCD screen, the bottom half. So I am going to open this up and replace it. I purchased a phone cover manufacturer's replacement part, not an OEM, so it's not a knockoff, it's the real thing. But I bought it on eBay for about $35, and it has the digitizer, the glass portion, and the LCD display and a plastic housing all in one. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, to replace the whole upper half than it is to try to replace the digitizer, the glass. If you don't break the display, then the display is still good, but the glass portion could be removed and only replaced. But trust me, it's a lot more effort and a little more skill. But nonetheless, this fix took me about 30 minutes. So I have specialty tools here, and I have them all lined out, and I'm opened up the housing and separated the case, and now getting ready to remove the portion that has the digitizer and the screen. So undo all of the screws. I have a little magnet that it's a super powerful magnet that I have attached to the screwdriver. I do this because when you're dealing with the little tiny screws, it helps to have extra magnetism there to make the screws stay on, and even sometimes the screws will jump up onto the magnet. So it's just kind of convenient. So here I am separating the upper half from the portion where the circuit board is housed. It's good to set these side by side. See here, I actually ended up forgetting one of the screws. So if you set them side by side, it's upside down. There we go. You can see where all the ports are for the screw, the little threaded sections. So it just kind of makes it easier to see where those screws are, just in case you miss them, because they are really small. So I'm opening the front half with the tool set. This is a specialty tool set for working on cell phones and laptops and screens, and actually also hard drives. But this you pop this open. Be very careful. Here we have the circuit board. So you have to remove all the parts off of that main housing and swap them over to the new. So here I'm removing the little tiny ribbon cable that's attached from the screen to the circuit board. And then there's a bunch of external pieces like the microphone, in some cases the cameras, and charging port, headphone jack. They are sometimes attached to the circuit board, and sometimes they are stuck to the plastic and make contact through the surface by just touching the circuit board. And in that case, this is the situation we have with this phone, and so I'm removing all of those parts. So handy little super small tweezers, and notice all my tools have nice big handles for my big fat hands. That sure makes it a lot easier when dealing with little tiny pieces. So the end is very small. So I'm removing those external pieces, and I have to put them on the new transfer them over to the new chassis and this display port. So here you have me moving those over. It's a good idea to put a mark on the new versus the old. Sometimes it's hard to tell once you start transferring all of the parts. You can't see the cracks as easy on some devices. So I'm trying to remove the protective, it's a copper sticky tape with a vinyl on the outside to isolate the lithium-ion battery from the screen. I don't know how important it is, but I'm in the process of moving that, and all of the little foam and little pieces off of the old broken screen. And I have this two-sided tape that's really small, so I'm applying that here. It's special for working on these phones. It's cheap to buy on eBay or Amazon. So we're going to replace that. All of those external pieces that make contact, and this here is the headphone adapter. It makes a contact to the circuit board, but it just floats freely there. I have this portable airbrush kit that I bought. I use that. I do play with airbrush painting, but I also keep this in my studio. It's great for cleaning off the electronics. It has a filter, a moisture capture device, so that you are not spraying when you compress air. The moisture gets into it. So don't want to be spitting out moisture onto the electronics. So we're using this setup, and I'm removing the two-sided tape here, and I'm applying the little foam and rubber pieces off of the old part, putting the circuit board back together, and I'll be attaching the ribbon cable, I believe, next. Yeah, clean off the cameras, get all the dust off of that. Very gently attach the ribbon cable from the new screen onto the circuit board. Prepare to attach the cover over the electronics, and there's this little tiny rubber device that goes over I believe it's the microphone, and so I keep dropping it and trying to apply it, and I think I dropped it and forgot to put it in, so you'll see me take it apart again and have to put it back on. Here I am again trying to get the foil, copper foil, and place it onto the new PC here. I got it on. It's not great, but I got it. Applying the little foam pieces. These are shovel-nosed tweezers. Great for grabbing small things and putting on. This is my cordless blower for cleaning off electronics, and this is the airbrush again. The airbrush has got a much more finer mist of air, so it works really great up close, like for the camera. But the cordless one has a larger area, larger volume of air over a larger area. Probably not necessary, but it is something I do. I also typically use the oxit on all of the contacts, but on this particular job I forgot where I put it, and I realized it's in my service vehicle, and I didn't want to go grab my service tools. So this is just inside of my studio at my workbench area with this ugly curtain that I got for free to distract you from the mess behind it. I'm actually redoing my studio, and if you follow me, you know that I have a lot of interests, from music to art and gardening, cooking, and lots of stuff. So here I'm putting the buttons back together, and the stupid little button is so difficult to work with to get it in place, and it's so small. You got to be real careful that you don't lose it. But I'm getting it together, putting the one screw in. I'll put the battery back in and see if it's working before I close it all up. And indeed, it is working. We now have a working repaired screen as good as the original. And so place it down on the foam that it came with so I can finish putting the screws in. Thanks for watching.